This news program is proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Now Biscuits.
Madang province experienced 6.9 magnitude earthquake. 500 people left jobless after a logging company ceased operation. And Minister Sawang condemns gender-based violence. A very good evening. This is National Emtv News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. Two earthquakes registering 6.7 and 6.9 in magnitude hit Madang province at the depth of 53 and 71 kilometers respectively at around 8:40 p.m. last night. The two earthquakes were felt in Madang, Mount Hagen, Chimbu and Morobe provinces. This information was disseminated through the Office of the Department of Mineral Policy and Geohazards Management in Port Moresby.
According to the department responsible for monitoring earthquake, the Mineral Policy and Geohazard Management, the two earthquakes occurred as a result of coalition interception of the South Bismarck Plate and the Solomon Sea Plate beneath the Finisare Range in the Madang province. Acting Director for the Geohazard Management Divisions explains further.
Right now, there seems to be a activity pickup in terms of seismicity. And so for this particular earthquake that happened, the chances that there will be aftershocks, but it will, over time, the aftershocks will slowly die away.
The two earthquakes were felt in Madang, Mount Hagen, Chimbu and Morobe province. Reports have been received that the air traffic tower in Mount Hagen was damaged due to the two earthquakes. People were urged to prepare for the aftershocks.
The epicentral area where the earthquake happened, as time goes by, there will be aftershocks, but the earthquake will not be that strong in terms of size and in terms of the intensity, where the shaking of the ground level. What will happen is that there will be aftershocks, it will continue, and then it will slowly fade away as the readjustment within the subsurface structures of the earth kind of slows down. And so at this point in time, yes, there will be aftershocks, but people have to take extra precautions in terms of what to do in the event when there's a small shaking. They just have to make sure that they are staying away from buildings or large trees or away from the mountainous area in case.
These two earthquakes of 6.7 and 6.9 magnitudes occurred at the depth of 53 and 71 kilometers. According to the director, threat of tsunami is limited. Sharon Engnui, National Emtv News.
During the Oil Palm Industry Corporation Authority Bill 2023 validation workshop that was held yesterday in Port Moresby, the Department of Agriculture and Livestock Secretary Dr. Sergey Bang talked further on the agriculture sector reform.
The agriculture sector contributes to 26% of the national gross domestic product. Coffee, cocoa and palm oil, among others, are grown by smallholders and provide income for 80% of the population. Yesterday, Dr. Bang elaborated on the current shift in the agriculture sector in the country.
The agriculture sector is now going through a reform or a restructure because the government of Honorable Maravi and Rosso have focused that agriculture will be driving the economy of this country in the next 5 to 10 years. And they have therefore identified and have funded the development of the agriculture sector going forward.
Dr. Bang went on to explain the medium-term development plan regarding the oil palm industry in the country as well as other commodities.
The oil palm, the livestock and coffee into separate ministries. And the Agriculture Department will remain as policy, coordination and operating the M&E framework to make sure that the subsectors or the commodity boards will deliver on the targets that have been set in the medium-term plan 4.
Furthermore, each commodity will be placed into their separate ministries. Dr. Bang elaborated on the policy and the department's goals for each portfolio.
This is in order that in the policy it's stated what they are out to achieve in terms of the government directive and how they will relate to the mother department, the Department of Agriculture. So it gives me pleasure to be able to partake in this policy and the 2 acts that will be following.
Tamara Agavi, National Emtv News.
Almost over 500 people of the North district in Western Province have been without jobs since a logging company ceased its operation since last year. The local member, James Donald, speaking on behalf of his people's views, raised this on the floor of Parliament recently for the government to look into this issue so to create a flexible environment for logging companies to operate.
Today, exporting of log is a very expensive exercise for any company to take that risk, as the country's tax rate for exporting logs stands at 70%, which has forced a number of logging companies to cease operations. Member for North Fly on the floor raised this concern.
And operation cost below this project is very, very expensive. They burn millions of liters or thousands of liters to export Naulisha Karim. It's one of those projects sits among the Western Province Nabla projects around. So the point they raised was this: hardly only sustaining, tariff go on top to mass and one region.
Donald says a logging company has ceased operation in his district, which has resulted in hundreds of locals without jobs and benefits.
Me try because me lose him almost 500 per workman. No hard man, all plus man is a kisim royalty only to all no more kisim. Have this plus item all bushman taso. Now only to building plenty road is stop. Now only pack up. Now only go. Now over the machine no more, no nothing. Places and cold piece is stop. Now worry work lo kisimi load. How about me look at them on the line lo upside because now plus item octave stop. Now all money benefit.
The member has called on the national government through the Office of the Department of Forestry to review the tariff imposed.
Now me trying to understand him now. That was the reason why I wanted to ask the minister. Suppose Department of Forestry, he got some and some display. Did we cause the problem? Suppose you been causing this a problem, enough let me review him again, reconsider him some factors. Suppose Osem Allen, Governor Allen Beddy talk. Did we put the hard stick? You may party more now only cause him a problem or you may try to review him, try to scale him, look him. I'm one concern bigger district lo me.
Sharon Engnui, National Emtv News.
During the recent official opening of the redeveloped and renamed Nadzab Tomodachi International Airport in Morobe Province, Prime Minister James Marape spoke about the current government's investment aspirations while also clarifying the loans taken to improve the country's economy.
I give you some features of this investment. It is 600 million kina worth of infrastructure development. It has a 10-year grace period, meaning you don't repay when you secure the loan. This loan was secured in 2015. You don't repay until after 10 years. It has a 0.01% in terms of interest payment to this loan, and you repay for 40 years. When we came in government in 2019, we deliberately looked into the tertiary portfolio we had as a government and what were good loans that was already procured that was beneficial to the economy.
During last Friday's Parliament sitting, Minister for Labour and Employment and Member for ICOST, Kesi Sawang, reminded the Parliament on its stance on gender-based violence as well as harassment at the workplace.
Gender-based violence against girls and womenfolk in the country has increased immensely. In recent surveys, more than 56% of women between the ages of 15 to 49 have experienced physical violence since their youth. Minister Sawang called on the Parliament to remember the stance that it took earlier this year on GBV. She went on to give a review of what she did last week Wednesday at the International Labour Organization.
It's a candid report, it's not sugarcoating, and it has clearly identified and described what we need to do to promote gender equality and reduce gender-based violence and empower our women and girls.
Minister Sawang commended the country for looking at ways to rectifying this important issue that is affecting our women and girls.
The third country in that region to ratify this violence and harassment convention for the vulnerable, especially the women at workplace. So that shows our country's commitment to addressing this. And I echo this to every one of us, the leaders here, and the people out there who are watching, who are listening on the radio, that this issue about gender-based violence, gender equality, women empowerment, they are not women's issue.
Sawang ended her plea by saying women and girls should not be subjected to violence. She also thanked the chairman for the Permanent Parliamentary Committee for Gender Equality and Women Empowerment for the detailed report.
It is our right to live in a free, fair and just society. We cannot be subject to violence. There shouldn't be any double standard in this country. And we are a state organization, we are a state. And it is the responsibility of the state to protect its citizens. We have a social contract as government. We have a social contract to our people, and one of that is to protect our most vulnerable. And it so happens that we women and girls in Papua New Guinea, and also the youth, we become the most vulnerable.
Tamara Agavi, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. You're watching National Emtv News. Lae City is the commercial, shipping, agricultural and fishing harbour of Papua New Guinea. 60% of shipping for PNG goes through Lae City, as revealed by the chairman of the Lae Chamber of Commerce, John Bryan.
Byrne explained the importance of the supply chain.
We, as Lae and Morabay, are no more important than any other province or city. Without a continuous supply chain supporting and developing each other, we miss opportunity and we increase our own cost base. If you cut off the hand, the place bleeds. So we need to feed each other.
Mr. Byrne was one of the guest speakers during the recent opening of the Nadzab Tomodachi International Airport. He stated that most strong economies of the world, small or large countries, have more than one international airport.
As a country of Papua New Guinea, we are being wooed and feted by many other economies. We have so much domestic and export opportunity, and the Nadzab Tomodachi Airport will be an enabler. It will enable us to drive that.
He stressed that good leadership is also an important aspect that will change the present and the future. Amanda Ilaitia, National Emtv News.
The Steamships Limited will soon open one of its new office buildings in Port Moresby. This was said to by the Managing Director for Steamships Limited last week, Rupert Bray.
Investing in PNG, we will be very shortly opening the Marriott next door in the building behind us. That's a great example of a partnership of bringing another international brand into PNG. And when we go to Hong Kong, we'll be looking to other Asian investors you're looking for partners within PNG and working with the Minister and his ministry to try and encourage partners from China, Asia, North Asia, Japan, Korea, and whoever else might be interested in coming in and partnering with steamships to develop the downstream processing and also the manufacturing at our putative SEZ over in Portside that we're working with your ministry on at the moment.
International Training Institute to date has given away 2 million kina worth of scholarship to top-performing students in the country to take up studies at ITI. Director for ITI Senthil Kumaran says it is ITI's community obligation. Spending around 300,000 on last year's scholarship program by the International Training Institute, Director and Chairman for ITI, Mr. Kumaran says next year ITI is planning to increase its scholarship value to 350,000 kina to engage new scholars into ITI for next year's academic year. When speaking of ITI's scholarship program, he added that this is not just ITI's community obligation, but ITI is also playing its part to develop the country's human resources.
We do give scholarships. We just calculated, since we started, that was probably in 2011 or something, we have given for 700 people scholarships. So far we're 2 million kina. Last year we gave 300,000. This year we're increasing for next year to 350,000. So this is part of our community service, giving back to the community.
He said so far the International Training Institute has spent up to 2 million kina on its scholarship programs, engaging students to be given an opportunity to study at ITI in selected courses.
For our students, when they graduate, those who don't have a job, they can actually give the CV back to our campuses, any of our campuses. So wherever possible, we allocate them OJT, on-the-job training, and also full-time. So a lot of employers, they approach us now. In fact, the latest one is Indonesian Embassy.
The scholarship programs done every year where top-performing students are given the opportunity to study at ITI. International Training Institute will soon introduce its new courses starting next year. This was made known by the Director for ITI, Senthil Kumaran, in a recent interview with Emtv News. Starting early next year, International Training Institute will roll out its new courses in hospitality and tourism. This will be the new inclusion to its current courses.
ITI is basically, if you're looking at Papua New Guinea, it's a young nation. So you need education. So we are there to provide as one of the providers to build education, for them to also start working as well, all different levels. So our aim is to try to build as quality education. So, and also to the extent relevant to the environment as well. So they should be able to work.
He said slowly ITI will introduce other courses that have a high demand in the market. He added that many of the courses provided by ITI are based on what the market is offering, where most of the students that graduate from ITI easily find a job.
Since we are coming from an institution to higher education, so we have now, a lot of our lecturers have been either been recruitment-wise or actually being taught into the master programs. So a lot of people have been sponsored, partially sponsored by us in the master program, UPNG, through the HR. So a lot of them, every year we put a lot of people in to upgrade to masters.
He added that ITI is closely working with the Higher Education Department to help support in providing quality and affordable education to Papua New Guineans. Prime Minister James Marape on Friday during the electrification project at the Duran Farm housing project alluded to the importance of having affordable housing.
Prime Minister James Marape said through his government, 150 million kina each will be allocated to in the next coming years to acquire more land. This entails construction of more affordable homes with the support from the National Housing Corporation or finding good contractors who can partner with in the building and construction stage. PM Marape said to eliminate land congestion at the Lands Department, the department has to take stock of all the land in the country and acquire more land for such housing projects to cater for the local working class and also expatriates. This will enable genuine employees who want to be given a piece of land to build a house at these housing projects. The PM also said that his government is committed to acquiring more land and building proper suburbs and residences for more Papua New Guineans in the future, as long as they are responsible for their own utility bills. Tamara Agavi, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. In POM AFL, the much anticipated match between the renowned underdogs Gerika Bomas and the resilient Gordon's Kokofas was held off from yesterday due to game disruptions.
What was the main attraction of the day? The premier match in the Moniplus Port Moresby AFL Premiership Cup was called off by officials to be continued at a later date due to game disruptions. It was reported that supporters got rowdy and a fight broke out and was beyond control. The match that had everyone holding their breaths yesterday at the Bicini Oval in Port Moresby saw Gerika Bombers ahead on the scoreboard with 35 points and the Gordon's Kokofas closely behind with 34 points. Further information in this regard is yet to be confirmed. In other matches, the day saw PNG Flames take on the development team in the women's division as the curtain raiser. An outcome of the match will lead to players in the development team selected for PNG Flames. In the reserve game that followed, University Tigers went up against defending champs Gordon's Kokofas, beating them in the quarter-final. Natasha Ovoy, Trukai Sports.
In Rugby League kicking off in June of this year, yesterday saw the grand final for the first ever launched Vanapa Brown Rugby Football League. Coming out on top as champions for the 2023 season was the Bisogo Vipers.
The league saw Bisogo Vipers and Laloki Medics take the field in a battle described as a fight to the finish. A highly anticipated match as both teams belong to Ward 1 of the Vanapa Brown LLG. Agreed that both teams were exceptional, there can only be one winner. And that was the Bisogo Vipers. The Vipers walked home with the Vanapa Brown Rugby Football League Cup for 2023 season proper. Present to witness the event was Joe Grimmer, head of the Elite Player Development, who expressed high spirits as the match unraveled. As much as the tournament was to bring out sportsmanship in the Vanapa Brown community, it was also to present the young people with an opportunity to better themselves for the country. This was expressed by the Vanapa Brown Rugby Football League Association President McShane Savino as he elaborated on the theme of the tournament this year.
Our theme for this grand final is transforming dreams through the shift of mindset. That is our theme. And if you wonder why, we're transforming dreams from the field against all odds for them to play. And the same token, the same concept, they can go out into the world and apply that concept to look for a job, put the best foot out and find a job, earn a living so we can cut down on unemployment percentages.
Stating that a major supporter for the tournament was the Hirikoyari MP Kit Iduhu, President Savino added what to expect in the near future from the Vanapa Brown Rugby Football League Association.
As way forward, we have the preseason coming up, Super 9s, K9 Super 9s, KI Super 9s. It's on its way. We will confirm the dates when to start.
Natasha Ovoy, Chukai Sports.
And Chukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
Forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby mostly fine, partly cloudy. Kerema cloudy with few showers and rain, drizzle. Alatau, Popondetta and Daru partly cloudy with brief evening showers. In the Mamase region, Ley partly cloudy with chances of afternoon showers. Madang cloudy with few showers and possible thunderstorm. Wewak few showers, then partly cloudy. Vanimo partly cloudy. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau and KVN cloudy with few showers and possible thunderstorm. Kokopo and Rabaul partly cloudy with possible shower or two. Kimbe partly cloudy. Buka cloudy with few evening showers and thunderstorm. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen cloudy with rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Goroka and Kundiawa partly cloudy with few rain showers. Mendi and Wabeg partly cloudy with evening rain drizzle.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
We go an update on the Rugby World Cup. Ireland beat Scotland 36 points to 14 points to top of Pool B.
Indecision there as Ringrose squared upfield, and then heaps of options going through the hands. Lowe getting crucial blow.
In today's match, it was no doubt Ireland justified its status as one of the teams not to be reckoned with in their win against Scotland, 36 to 14 points. The men in green dominated in less than 2 minutes into the game with a try by James Lowe. The 26th minute into the first half saw Hugo Keenan gain another try for Ireland. With the team upbeat and Johnny Sexton in tune for the conversion, Ireland came out of the first half leading with 26 points to Scotland nil.
The number one team in the world are off and running. Reminder, Scotland must win by 8 points tonight before we start thinking about bonus points and the like.
In the second half, Scotland tried to fight the pressure with 2 tries just under 20 minutes to full time, but it wasn't enough to win them the match from Ireland. With this win, Ireland sealed its fate to face New Zealand in the quarter-finals. Again, the men in green will have to be very much prepared for, as it is recorded one of the teams who had never passed the quarters before. Meanwhile, the All Blacks is a 3-time champion. The next match will see Japan go up against Argentina tonight at 9 p.m. on MTV.
Schumann.
Natasha Ovoy, Chukai Sports.
And that's how we end the bulletin for Sunday, the 8th of October, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by
Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits
and Gold Nuggets.